shadows that you can play around with here. And so yeah, we've got the basis of the character here. I'm just going to quickly call it test. Yeah, so.
Is it possible to zoom in on your character? It's a bit difficult to see it in the projector.
Is it possible to
zoom
zoom in? Yeah. Yeah, at the moment it's keeping it kind of locked in so you don't kind of come out of the bounds. But when it renders out, you have more control over the image size and stuff. Okay, next mode is preview mode. And you can see here we've got a iClass has built a texture for us over here. So we're good to go. And what we can do also, we can have a look at the UV maps for those of you who have a bit of a 3D background and want to make things from scratch. Another thing we can do that I think is really cool is we can export the texture, which I'll do now. And just to show you guys how you can get pixel perfect control out of this. Okay, so what I can do here in Photoshop or any paint program that you guys like to use is you can go in and make some crazy changes. And just to show an example, you guys can have banners, you guys can put more detail into things. It's just, you know, running out of time. So what we can do now is import the texture back in. So now your character has the exact texture that you want. So you've used iClass to create a base. You can then take it out and refine and do the things that you really want to do to make it unique. So you basically cut out a crazy amount of work. Portrait mode allows you to create like a kind of an avatar of your characters, and just do it like that. And it will create animations that you can use for later. I'm going to try and get through this a bit quicker because we've got a few more things to show. And when you guys are ready to export, you have two options. You can export it in 3D. One thing I'll quickly note is in 1.6, the final version, we're also going to have FBX export as well. But if you're looking to do a 2D export, you can choose to export all the animations or one animation at once. You have various settings, and another new feature for 1.6 is the ability to anti-alias your images when they're exported. And when it does get exported, all the shadows are created for you, all the transparency is done. So basically you're ready just to put it into MMF or whatever you're using, and you're good to go. So that's how iClass works. Okay. So basically, that gives you an idea of
what does it export the 2D as?
PNGs. Yeah. So all the transparency is in there. The shadows are there if you set it up. Okay. So basically, that's just an overview, a quick overview of how iClass works. All of the modules work in a similar way. It's all revolving around customizing and building things up like that. And when you're ready, just going to. You can export your project out into your MMF project, and you can include an MFA, so you have a template ready and you can quickly preview what things are looking like. All you have to do is press export. I've already done that just so to save time. I'll go over to here. Those 7 wasn't playing nice today. That's all good. Okay, so what I've done here is opened up the MFA that the MMF exporter will make for you. The way it works is you have an MMF object here, and all you need to do is set a few values. You basically tell it the name of your scene. So if I quickly show you, the level I created that got exported out was called Simple Townhouse. And all you need to do is write Simple Townhouse over there where it says scene folder. Music is the same. You choose a song that iLoop created, and you just write the name of the file in that box. And the same thing goes with the actors. So for the main character, just somewhere around here, basically you tell it the name of the parts that you've exported. And once you're ready to check it out, you run the application. It'll take a couple of minutes. Hopefully, yes. What it's doing now is dynamically loading every frame of animation into the engine at one time. So that's why it takes a minute or two to get it up and running. As I move around, you can see the shadows underneath me. We have a few things out of the box as well. I can crouch, I can kind of shuffle around, I can run, you can kind of attack these dudes. So yeah, it gives you a quick kind of look on what the game's going to look like. Actually, I'll give you an idea of how the collisions are working. I think it'll give you a chance to show you a little ice game. Basically, the collisions are working, the layers are working, and yeah, it just makes it really, really easy. So that's Immunity 1.6. Any questions? Yeah.
You mentioned back in the days of using 1.0. So how long have you been doing this?
We released an early version, I think, 1.6, a year and a bit ago, the final version of 1.0. And when we released it, there was a few things that we wanted to fix. We wanted to improve the amount of customization you had over the mesh. The exporter wasn't quite as good as it is now. So yeah, we think we've got the integration between ImmunityCS and MMF working at a really high level now. We wanted it to be a massive part and an integral part of your workflow.
Is there any way to improve, for example, collisions or anything via MMF code?
Yeah, sure. I mean, the world template that I just showed you now, that's what gets exported. The purpose isn't supposed to be a complete game, but just a starting point. So you guys can take over all the code, change it, whatever you want to do.
It's more like that template, it's more like level design.
Sure, like a preview. Yeah, exactly. Like a preview of what your game's going to look like. Yeah?
So it's quite useful sort of prototyping and things.
Sure, I mean,
and beginners as well, like at the beginning, and then like we could just use sort of as a full template, and then
sure.
I guess more advanced users can get their own sort of.
Definitely. I mean, when I started using MMF2, well, MMF 1.5 4 or 5 years ago, one of the most daunting things for me, one of the things I hated the most, was I used to always work with 3D, and I'd have to cut out each frame one by one, and then I'd have to, like, you know, go over it because the anti-aliasing would like make it hell back in the days where, you know, we didn't have PNG, so you had to kind of cut out the edges, and you'd spend hours just cutting out frames. With this, forget it, you don't have to do it. That's just not even an issue anymore. So everything is kind of like sorted for you. You don't have to worry about the basics. You guys can just have the content, put it into MMF. You can think to yourself, okay, this looks good, this is the way I want it. Or you think, oh, actually, I don't like the character like that. Take it back, refine it, and once you're ready, then you can start concentrating on refining the programming and making your game really unique. So, any other questions?
And we have to leave it there before people start eating the furniture.
No problem.